So we're at the Prince of Wales in Chatham in Kent. This old building has been here since the early 1800s. It's seen 2 world wars, and the new landlady, Sally, is going to tell us some spooky stories. You saw it first on Unsolved Kent, and today it's just me and my camera.
So I'm Sally. I've been in the Prince of Wales for about 8 weeks now. Very new to the pub environment, but really exciting. My background is actually healthcare. I come from working in a care home previously, but I also am a psychic medium. So when I came to this pub, I was so excited for a new experience. It didn't really occur to me about the psychic side of things, but it was really apparent in the first few days of moving here into the pub that there was actually paranormal activity, which was quite exciting for me.
My name is Corey. I am the manager here at the Prince of Wales. I've been here for about 3 months now since we took over. My background is, I've been in pub work for a long time, actually travelling the UK. And then I've come down here to work with Sally in this lovely old haunted pub.
From a young age, it's kind of like the in-joke in my family. They call me Psychic Sally. Always having little premonitions, really sensitive to spirit around me. Lots and lots of experiences. So I've definitely felt that there's more than one. We have the ghost of what we've called George, because the staff that are working here that previously worked here before we took the pub over so affectionately called him George, and he is the one that we feel like he's causing the footsteps, kind of comes up behind you and wanders around the whole of the pub.
So we moved in and the day that we got in upstairs, we was moving all of our stuff around, and then that night when we came back downstairs, there was things, we could hear things happening and hear people upstairs. Even in this bar itself, I've experienced footsteps behind me. I was sitting by the TV over there watching an F1 race, and I've heard someone distinctly walk up to me across the floorboards. I turned around, not a single person there. Yeah, it's very weird things.
Okay, so this is our first floor bar, and this is where loads of people always feel footsteps coming up behind them. I've had someone run up behind me, scare the living daylights out of me. We often hear people walking across the floorboards up here as well. But even before we moved in, the old staff, and this is who they call George, is the one that often you hear sort of marching around.
It's got a different feel in here, isn't it?
It has got. The higher up you go, the more oppressive the energy feels.
Mm-hmm.
The more weirder things started happening once we got in here, and we was like maybe a couple of weeks in, downstairs in the cellar, obviously, which is 3 floors below where we sleep. Overnight the gas would turn off, things would move into the middle of the walkway which weren't there before.
We also have what I believe to be a man named Mr. Hook. He died sadly in a fire, which is in the historical records. Unfortunately, he was trying to help being put in the fire and collapsed and trapped him in the building. And we've had lots of experiences with fire extinguishers, alarms going off, and I do feel like that's probably his presence. I did sage the building when I came in the first few days, and as I was saging, the fire exit room opened. So
Oh my goodness.
So we also have what we've named the smelly ghost. Basically, if you walk on the first floor, sometimes you'll get a really awful smell. And we believe that to be another one of our ghosts. It's just in a certain spot. And you get quite cold and quite heavy feeling, and then it'll just disappear again.
In the flat above us where there was like little kids' toy balls that just appeared out of nowhere. Like the whole flat was clean. There was nothing in there at all. And this little blue ball came out of nowhere. It was in the middle of the floor one day, and then we've seen it move, like literally move in front of us with nothing there to push it. Yeah, it's very strange.
So the ghost of a child was really interesting. When we was walking across the 3rd floor flat, we opened a door and a ball started rolling towards me, a little blue ball. We don't know where the ball's come from. It just appeared out of nowhere. And now, ever since then, the ball will just appear in certain places. So you'll leave it in one place and you'll come back and it'll be in a different room or a different part of the corridor. So I believe that's the energy of a young boy.
I live upstairs, yeah.
So every night do you hear?
Most nights, yeah. Most nights, once the customers leave the pub and the pub goes quiet, obviously, you hear moving around. So there's a flat above us, which is completely empty. There's no furniture in there at all. And I regularly, 3 or 4 times a week, hear the moving of furniture, like wood on wood being dragged around underneath me, or 2 people talking distinctly. I thought it was Sally at one point, until they turned around to me and goes, "Can you hear those 2 people talking at night?" And I was like, I thought it was you. You can't hear exactly what they're saying, but you can tell that it's a feminine and a male voice, like a lighter voice and a deeper voice talking. But I thought it was because we used to share neighbouring rooms, and I thought that I could hear them through the wall. And then they goes, "Oh, can you hear that at night time, people talking?" I was like, I thought that I was keeping you awake all night, and you were in the room next to me talking about how I'm keeping you awake all night. But it was not them.
So this is our 3rd floor flat. It's not currently used, and this is where we got a lot of our activity, and we get quite an oppressive energy from this flat that everyone feels. It can make you feel quite dizzy, sick, and quite heavy in yourself. This is where the ghost of a child, I feel, is, where the blue ball moves different places. So there's the blue ball. This room, I don't really have a lot of experiences in this room, to be honest.
It feels quite nice and airy, doesn't it, in here?
Yeah, it just doesn't feel as heavy in this room. But as you walk down this corridor, you will feel like the energy change again. This room is not nice either, so the energy is quite heavy in this room again. It just makes the hair stand up on the back of your neck. Definitely feel like there's a male energy and a child energy leads to up here. Apparently, again, there's footsteps. Sometimes if you're downstairs, you will hear furniture being dragged, but there's no furniture up here. The table that we previously saw is what I put in there last night, so it's completely empty. And the cellar ghost, someone plays tricks in the cellar. I do believe that maybe Mr. Hook, where he's sort of trapped in the building. The cellar used to be the old bar years ago. What happens is the staff will often have to go down there to turn the gas back on, and then they'll come back up, and then it's off, and then so it seems like a ghost like sort of playing tricks with us with that one. And we could go towards the cellar. Quite interesting. This is where the old bar used to be. So you can see like the wood at the back. And the wood, and this used to be the old bar. And the gas taps, these gas taps will just go off on their own. And they're quite difficult to turn on and off. And then in that room there is the old stairs, which is now blocked off. See, it's a jump room now. But that's the old stairs that we just moved up.
Oh. It's a bit spooky down here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit spooky. Mostly I feel like there's a friendly ghost. Most of the spirits seem friendly, but on this third floor flat, there is quite an oppressive energy. It does feel quite heavy. We have had paranormal team in to investigate that area, and they have picked up on some paranormal activity up there. I wouldn't say it's a real bad energy, but it's more like a strong energy. So it does have the ability to kind of affect your emotions, your feelings, and it does move things as well. So they did an investigation up here in the flat and downstairs in the first bar and the ground floor bar and the cellar. So they covered all areas, and they loved every minute of it.
They found the energy to be very, very, it wasn't a negative energy, but it was definitely something out of the ordinary. They set up a few different traps and cameras and things like that. One of the main things that was happening, the flashlight on their phone when they were recording kept turning on and off, almost like on command. Like they would say, if someone's here, can you flick the camera, the light back on, and it would like, couple of seconds later, yeah, very, very strange.
And it was really interesting. They brought all their equipment with them. They're going to write up a report as well. But we sat with them for a little while, and balloons were moving where they shouldn't be. The guy's phone light just kept coming on. We
had all the windows shut, and we put some balloons in the hallway, and they were sat dead still, and then all of a sudden they started going back and forward, and yeah, that was probably the weirdest thing for me, seeing them, because they were there like literally just, I think we had a few of them in here actually, because they set up like a laser grid in here so you could see any motion, but the balloons were dead still, were not moving at all. Even as you walk past them, you'd think that the wind from you walking past would move it, nothing. And then at one point they just started going and yeah, it was quite, that was a little bit scary for me actually, because you can actually see physically something in front of you moving.
They didn't have a spirit box, but they had a REM pod, they had other equipment. I'd actually not sure the name of it. They had a teddy bear with the lights that come on, cat balls, and they filmed a lot on their phone. But the energy was quite high. We'd done the Ouija board as well, and a lot of information come through on that as well.
Oh, really? Wow.
This room here is where we held an investigation, and it's where this room will change temperatures quite drastically. So it'll be really hot, this was it'll be freezing, but you can't actually open the windows, they're all sealed up, so we know it's not the windows or a draft coming in anywhere. There's a lot of static energy in here as well, so often I'll come in here and randomly I'll just start giving myself electric shocks, and when people brush past me, they will start getting a shock as well.
I've had the music in here go from nothing all the way up to full, just like go down. I've been in here tidying, gone downstairs, and I've just got the music up here a little bit on, just to keep myself having a little bit of a boogie while I clean. And I'll come back up here and it's been turned all the way up to full.
So I can do all three, but it might not necessarily mean that I'll always see something. I might feel their energy, I might pick up on their personality, and other times I might see them, or I'll have just an inner knowing that what they're like and what kind of person he was. This is the last room. Again, it's just carrying on the theme of the whole flat. It just feels quite heavy. I think we have got some footage recently. We was down in this bar, just in that corner.
Yeah.
And a glass of Guinness just slid off the table and crashed on the floor. We have that in footage. So over in that area, we recently had a glass of Guinness just slide off a table and just smashed on the floor.
I think the weirdest thing for me was the water pipes. So in my room I've got two kind of, what they'd probably put up as plasterboard, and then they painted over it and create a little alcove as such. And there's the water pipes that run through it, and one night I heard what sounded like someone climbing and maybe dropping down onto this pipe, and then you could hear it continuously like going like ting, ting, but it was like irregular. It wasn't, and it's for something to be dropping on it, it sounded like metal on metal. It was like someone was sat in there trying to, that was the freakiest thing for me, because that was literally about 2 feet away from me on the other side of the wall, and I was like I did not sleep that night,
One time I was walking upstairs in the upstairs bar on my own. I was carrying some crisps in my own little world, and then I heard someone running up behind me, turned around and no one was there, and it just scared the life out of me. I think I threw the box and just stood there. So we've got that footage and you can see clearly. So this flat is where we hear footsteps, but also doors and lights will go on and off. Doors will open by themselves. We will go around in pairs, shut everything, turn all the lights off, come back around, the lights are on, the doors are open, and no explanation.
Thanks for joining us today on Unsolved Kent. And if you're ever passing through, come and have a spooky pint in the Prince of Wales, or the POW as they call it here. See you next time.